build.gradles on the left hand side. Please make sure you choose this thing with me. If you couldn't find it, just search a little bit so that you can see the same thing with me. I'm looking for build.gradle, where I can see my application ID, minimum SDK version, target SDK version. These are the configurations that we made when we first created this project, and we can change them afterwards, obviously. So this is a file that contains our project files, like configurations and some kind of dependencies, some kind of libraries that we use in order to run this project. So over here in the dependencies, we have something called test implementations. So this is for just testing our code, and sometimes they cause some problems. So if you have any problem, it's worth a shot to comment them out. So if you put 3 slashes over here, double slashes in the 3 lines, and do build, clean, and build, rebuild from the menu like this, okay? Build, clean, and build, rebuild. It will rebuild the project, and if you have any kind of problem, it should go away. And if it doesn't, I'm going to explain some other solutions as well, don't worry. So this is some kind of a weird bug of Android Studio. We know what's causing it. We just notified to Google. They're trying to solve it. Hopefully it will be solved soon. And if you don't see this problem, then you can just use it like this without any slashes, okay? And as you can see, I don't have this problem over here, so I'm going to continue using this just the way it is, okay? And in the settings part, let's get back to the settings part. You can search for SDK. So if you missed any SDKs or if you got any error during the installation part, then you're gonna have to come back here, okay? So in the SDK platforms, you see what you have downloaded when you give permission in Android Studio to download these SDKs to your computer, okay? And over here you see we have the latest version, so maybe you have the Android 10 or Android other versions as well, but you can actually add or remove any version that you want from here. So make sure you're on the latest version, okay? Whether it's Android 10 or 11, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you're on the latest version on the SDK platforms. And later on we're gonna go for SDK tools when we deal with the emulator problem. So if you have experienced any problem with the installation of Haxum in the previous lecture, don't worry, I didn't forget that. We're gonna solve it. So make sure you download the SDK platforms. So in the SDK tools, just try to see what I have installed over here, like Haxum. So if you had any bad experiences with the installation of Haxum, you can just try to remove it and install it one more time. But if it doesn't work, I'm going to show you some alternative ways to make this work as well, don't worry. So you can actually remove and install anything you want from here, but make sure the Android SDK build tools, emulator, SDK platforms, SDK tools, as well as Haxum is installed right now. And over here under support repositories, we have everything. And make sure you update the Google Play services as well. So if you want to install anything, it will ask you to accept the license like this, and if you accept it, just make sure click on next and finish it, okay? And I believe after installing Google Play services, we are almost done over here in the SDK tools. So let me see if we have anything left. We're gonna talk about Haxum later on, as I said before. And in the support repositories, just download everything. And if you're on Windows, you may see some kind of USB debugging tool under the support repositories. Make sure you download that as well. Later on, if you want to use your phone or Android device like an emulator or a simulator for your projects, it will be required for you. Okay, so after you're done with this, actually you're ready to write your first piece of codes, and I believe we managed to solve the problems, and you get a green light under the build section here as well. It means that you're good to go. But if you don't, make sure you check the Q&A section. Make sure you write your question with a screenshot so that we can understand it better and we can solve it within 24 hours.